Good morning, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome to Nottingham Trent University. My name is Sarah Spate, and I'm the Deputy Vice-Chancellor here, and my job this morning is to welcome you to the university, to explain a bit about NTU and what makes it so special, but really to make sure that we've got some time for you to listen and pose questions to three of our students, to Alicia, Molly and Harry, who are down here at the front at the moment and will come and stand up later on in the session. And what you'll be able to do, if you want to do it, you will be able to use that QR code, so scan it on your phones, and you can pop in there any questions that you would like to field to Harry, Molly or Alicia during the interactive part of the session. So please go ahead if you've got a burning question that you would like to ask of them. Now, we know of the people who have registered and signed in at the desk that we've got people who travelled in today from Manchester, from London, from Swansea, but also much further afield. We know we've got people who come in from Mumbai in India, for example. And that's just an important signal for us because we're an international community, we're an inclusive community. We've got staff and students here at NTU from over 160 different countries. And that's an important part of our identity. So wherever you're from, however far you've travelled to be here, welcome to NTU and welcome to Nottingham. This is a student city. Over the other side of our city, we have the University of Nottingham. And if we put those two universities together, there are more than 60,000 students who live here. And that accounts for about 15% of the total population of the city. And of course, what that means is that the student pound is powerful. Nottingham City needs to cater for its student residents. And so we have a huge selection of restaurants, cafes, bars, sporting and live music venues, galleries, chain and independent stores, all catering for those students. It's a very, very safe place to live. Recently, it's been recognised with Purple Flag status, which is an international accreditation scheme for cities in recognition of excellence in a diverse, entertaining and safe nighttime economy. And there's also an abundance of green spaces in Nottingham. The best part, perhaps, you can walk from point A to point B, almost anywhere in the city, in about 20 minutes max. And Alicia, Molly and Harry, they'll give you a bit more of a flavour of what it means to them to live in Nottingham in a few moments. You may not know very much about the history of Nottingham Trent University. One characteristic of us is that we are big, as I've already mentioned. We are one of the most popular undergraduate universities in the country. On latest government data, we had the 4th highest number of undergraduate student enrolments in the UK. We've got 5 campuses, and across those, our scale means that we're able to offer a really huge wealth of student support, student services, world-class facilities, clubs and societies. And much of what we offer won't be available at the smaller universities. We've got a team of about 4,000 staff. That includes career coaches and counsellors who work alongside our students every day to help them get the most out of their time here and to build their new careers. We are continually investing in our facilities. On Shakespeare Street, not very far away from here, the other side of our wonderful Gothic Arkwright building, last September we opened the new Design and Digital Arts building. That includes technology suites, a 2-storey virtual production studio, facilities that rival those of the leading London film studios. At the other end of the scale, we've been teaching students here for more than 180 years. So as a result, we've got a very diverse campus, which reflects our proud history. We've got listed buildings. We've got the Waverley building, the elaborate Gothic Arkwright building just next door. And that range, again, shows our investment in the future for our students. And over that 180-year history, we have built up a range of alumni with some quite interesting professions. We've got the founders of the superfoods company, Real, that's Sean and Charlotte Alley. You've got Radio 1 DJs, Jack Saunders and Alice Dale, the Director of Sports Performance, Science, Research and Innovation at Red Bull, Robin Thorpe, film directors such as Jonathan Glazer, who won an Oscar last year for The Zone of Interest, and Sam Fell, who directed Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget. And we've even taught a Great British Bake Off semi-finalist. So who knows, come to NTU, all doors are open. You could end up also shaking Paul Hollywood's hand. We know university is a major, major transition for students. We recognise, we understand the pressures and the challenges that students face. So at NTU, we've spent decades investing in our student experience. And I think this is reflected in a number of ways. I'm going to give you one example. For about a decade or so now, we've been at the forefront of engagement analytics in higher education. What on earth does that mean? We've got a tool called the Student Dashboard. This is shared with students and with academic staff. It's a data and AI tool which enables us to understand a student's level of engagement with their course and with university facilities, for example, the library. It helps us to identify students who may be struggling, who don't appear to be engaging with what's on offer. We can proactively reach out to them. We can offer a conversation. We can check in to see if there is something that's getting in the way of their engagement with all that NTU has to offer. It may sound like Big Brother, but it really, really isn't. It's very popular with our students. They see it as a way in which, in such a large institution, we can show that we can care, we can personalise our support, we can show that each individual matters. We're now taking that one step further. We're doing extensive research to try and see if we can develop a platform that's going to measure not just engagement with university, but well-being. Can we pick up those signs, again, that will enable us to intervene early and help a student before something minor morphs into something a little bit more significant? No other university has done that before. So it's really important to us that we show that we know that university is about that broader experience. If you come and join us at NTU, from your very first day, you'll be a member of the Nottingham Trent Students' Union. That will give you more than 100 clubs, societies, communities, networks, academic groups to join, covering everything from gaming to CrossFit, from anime to animals. We also know that for some of you, a big, big ticket item in your minds as you're making your decisions is going to be accommodation. You're going to spend an awful amount of time in your accommodation. Over the news in recent years, there's been stories about students having to live in one city and commute to another for their university studies. That's unacceptable. So what we do here is we offer an accommodation guarantee to all of our new undergraduate students. If you accept a place with us, we will make sure, we will guarantee that you have a bed in student accommodation in the city. Because it's not just where you rest your head, it is your home in the time that you choose to spend in university-style accommodation. The kitchen, the common areas, they are social learning spaces. You'll be making some of your lifelong friends through your accommodation, sometimes more than you will through your course. There is a huge range of accommodation in Nottingham as such a student-focused city. There's over 15,000 beds within walking distance of NTU. So with that accommodation guarantee, please don't let that be one of the things that you worry about. And while you're here today, take a tour of the accommodation, go and talk to the folks on the accommodation stands. Make sure you find out what you need to know. NTU is very much an industry-led institution, and industry partnered. We partner with more than 2,000 companies locally, nationally, and internationally. We get their input into the courses and the modules that we design. They help to source and develop placements for our students. Every student at NTU undertakes work-like experience as part of their degree. It's unique for a university to offer that. It could be a traditional sandwich year. It could be a placement. It could be a 6-week project with a company. This is to make sure that all of our undergraduates get a meaningful work experience that is going to deepen their learning and ensure that you are ready to enter the world of work. And it's not rocket science. I'm sure everyone in the room would understand immediately that the research will show if you do work experience while you're on your course, you will be better placed to get a good job as a graduate. So that feeds in also to our employability support, another really big and connected priority for us. We're not just focused on your career goals, we're here to nurture your development as a person. We provide all the traditional support that you would expect, one-to-one career coaching, CV building, interview practice, networking, all of that. You'll get exclusive access to our portal of part-time, placement and graduate vacancies. You also get access to hundreds of our former students who return from around the world every term to provide support, advice, and practical tips on growing your careers. And all of this support comes under the banner of our employability promise. It's a personalised support package available to all of our students from day one on campus to the years after you've graduated. And we will secure you a paid internship to kickstart your career if you're not in work or further study 12 months after graduating. And that's one reason why in 2025, we were voted as first in the UK for employability in the Uni Compare rankings. We really, really want to make sure that our students can fulfill their potential. We also do a lot of research. And research is important to the experience and the opportunities of our undergraduate population because we want to connect that research to your teaching. Research is feeding into your next lecture. The researchers are your lecturers. Your ideas may also be informing that research. It's certainly not about research in one corner and education in the other here at NTU. And the range of our research, I think, is impressive. Our experts have recently developed a national incident database to tackle violence against women. They're utilising artificial intelligence to help identify patients at risk of lung cancer before symptoms have even appeared. And they have proved how millions of existing UK homes can become completely carbon-free. And across the road, in the Digital Arts and Design building that I mentioned earlier, we've got research expertise in knitting. Yep, knitting. Now, okay, might not sound that groundbreaking, but this isn't about knitting socks. Our researchers are knitting lightweight satellites with LED fibers that could revolutionize telecommunications. Because at NTU, we are looking for the next things, we're looking for those new solutions, and of course, we are then going to send knitting into space. Now, before I invite Harry, Alicia, and Molly to field some of your questions, I, of course, have to just blow the trumpet for a moment. There's a whole range of awards that NTU has won in recent years. And yes, I'll mention some of them, but it's what lies behind them that's important. So yes, let me brag about what's on the mantelpiece, but the message I think for you all in the room today is that these awards just single our commitment. They show you, they should just give you a sense of our values, of our strategic priorities, of what really matters to us, and therefore what we get recognised for externally. So yes, we are gold in the Teaching Excellence Framework, which is a government tool to measure the quality of our teaching and the student experience. We've been rated as good by Ofsted, and you know that means good, for our education and skills provision. And we're also now one of a very small number of universities in the UK who've been rated as outstanding by Ofsted for our apprenticeship provision. And between 2017 and 2023, we've been awarded University of the Year 5 times. Again, that's pretty remarkable, but it's what lies behind that's the stuff that's important. And so because of that, the people that you really want to hear from today, it's not me, it's our students who can tell you straight what it's meant to them to come and study at NTU over the last few years. So please, everyone, can you welcome to the front Alicia, Molly and Harry. Right, and I'm going to start us off by fielding some questions to the three of you. And we're going to go from Alicia and then to Molly and then to Harry.
Thank you.
First of all, Alicia, can you tell us, please, a bit about your experience of being a student mentor and then about all the clubs and societies I know you've been involved in?
So as a student mentor, I have been involved in helping students wherever they've come from, whether it's secondary school or college, bridge the gap between there and university. So I help you in your first week, and it's like a welcome week. You get introduced to us, and we sort of like put on some events for you to sort of make those connections in university. For example, I have done a Halloween movie night. I've done ice skating. So all of these events, like whatever you guys want, it's not just something that I plan. So whatever you guys want, I'll organize those social events for you. I also do academic events as well. So I'm a law student. So I've organized referencing events and essay writing events. So then you guys can come along and have those like one-on-one personal connections. So I basically am like a buddy for you throughout the whole first year of your university life. And in terms of societies, I am involved, I play the flute, so I'm involved in an orchestra, and I've put on like loads of performances for the general public and NTU students as well as parents, and like anyone can come along. I've also I also love playing badminton, so I am a part of the Play for Fun sessions. So I go along, play for fun with like-minded badminton students, but you can also play competitively. We have over 100 plus societies, so you'll obviously find something for you. At one point, we had an NTU British Queuing Society, because apparently British people like to queue. So even if there isn't something for you, the SU can help you organise your own society as well. So very supportive and very like-minded people that you'll find.
Thank you very much, Alicia. And of course, you're also studying your course.
Thank you.
And if you can hand the mic across to Molly, please. Tell us about the 12-month placement that I know you've done as part of your course. And then what's it been like for you? Because I know you're coming to the end of your time here. What's it been like living in Nottingham?
Okay, so last year I did a placement working at Nestle up in York, working at the Research and Development Centre in the front-end innovation team, doing the design work for them. So I was working with brands like Kit Kat, Aero, Quality Street, and being able to apply everything I've learned in my first 2 years at university studying product design into the real world was really exciting, and to be able to work with other teams there as well to see a project come to life. So, for example, one of them was the Quality Street paper-based tub. I helped to develop the labelling for that. So it was really exciting to already, having not even, well, just coming to the end of university now, seeing some of my work out there already, and to be able to have the support from my tutors and the employability team to be able to help me get to that placement. So I had help support with my CV, writing that, and also cover letter as well. So that's something which I hadn't had much experience with before. So to be able to get that support from the university put me in a strong position to be able to secure that placement. And it's really valuable experience. And as I came into my final year this year, I felt in a much stronger position and a lot more confident in my work. And now having finished that, I know I'm in a strong position as I enter the real world. And also living in Nottingham. So yeah, I've been here for 4 years now, and it's definitely been a really great experience. I think that it's very different to my hometown. So when I went back at the weekend, I had to drive everywhere, drive to see friends, drive to do this. Whereas in Nottingham, everything's at your on your doorstep. You can literally walk into town within 10 minutes. There's also good public transport links as well, both within Nottingham and wider, as we are in the East Midlands. It's easy access to get everywhere. There's lots to do for students in terms of clubs, societies, both at the uni, and then in Nottingham, you've got bars, restaurants, shops. There's plenty to keep you occupied. and there's also like parks as well, which is nice to explore. And I know that as I now leave university and graduate in a month, I'm definitely going to miss both the university and the Nottingham city as a whole. And I felt very safe here as well because we have 24/7 support, security on site. So it's definitely been a great place to study, and yeah, definitely be sad to leave.
Thank you very much. And of course, we'll be calling you back. Thank you, everyone. And then over to you, Harry. If you can tell us a little bit about some of the support services that you have used and are available here at NTU. And then what was it like for you in your first year when you're making your choices about accommodation?
So student support is of enormous importance at NTU, and that's a really wide-ranging offer that's in place. So there's opportunities for financial support and access to hardship funds. There's opportunities for support if you have a disability or a mental health condition. There's also opportunities for support if you need academic support. I know that people might have come in from, a gap year. People might have come in from A-levels or BTECs. So whatever academic route you've taken, that support is there. And I've accessed a few of those services myself. Also, I would say that accommodation is an important part of the NTU experience. So in your first year, you are guaranteed a place in one of our student accommodations. I think student accommodation, it is an amazing experience. The halls providers host weekly socials. The halls providers will always look out for you. There's 24/7 security on site in these locations. And while, yes, it's not the Ritz, it is an important part of the university experience, should you choose to.
Thank you very much indeed. Christine, have we got any questions to field to the team?
We do. We've got a few about your actual courses, which I'm going to roll together. How many contact hours do you have a week? On average, how big are your class sizes? And are all your lectures in person or are some online?
Shall we start with the lawyers first? Alicia, do you want to kick off?
So we study 6 modules a year. And then they're split into lectures and seminars. So that includes 1 hour per one. So it's about 12 hours contact time a week. In terms of how big our cohort is, I'm sure Harry will tell you, it's massive in terms of law. I actually had most of my lectures in this theatre itself. So if you look around and see how many seats there are, that's how filled it would be for law. And then your seminars are a bit of a more smaller sort of personal session with your tutor. So mine was around about 15 people, can be bigger, can be smaller, but that's mine for law.
Regarding my class sizes, so I'm actually a final year. So all of the modules that we take are elective modules as opposed to core compulsory modules. So our class sizes tend to be a lot smaller. There are some modules that are selective based on your grades where the class sizes will be really small and one-to-one support is prioritized. I would also say that one-to-one support, should you need it, from your personal tutor, from university staff, is readily available. I don't know about your experience.
Yeah. So on product design, there's about 16 contact hours a week. That ranges. So when you start off in first year, you start off with more, and then gradually, as you progress up or through the years, there's less contact time as it becomes more self-directed. The support is always there for you and you can always get in contact with your tutors. It's just there's less taught stuff and it's more on us to then develop and use the skills that we've learned in those previous years. Class sizes is about, well, in the BA course specifically is about 70. That will be in the studio. You then will have lectures which then combine the 3 courses together where there's more of us there, and then you have one-to-one tutorials and group tutorials of about 8 people, and then we'll have CAD and sketching classes which can be about 15 to 20. And then in terms of the in-person and online, I started my degree in 2021, and obviously that was the back end of COVID, but all of ours were in person. Which I definitely think that as a student, we're paying to be here. So to be able to use all of the facilities, be able to speak to your friends and tutors in person is a lot more, you get a much better experience and a feel for the university as well. And it's just important to note as well that most lectures are recorded so that you can access them online. So if for whatever reason you are living at home or you can't get in that day, you can then catch up on them at a later date. Thank you.
Cost of living being on a lot of people's minds, are there many paid jobs on campus?
Who would like to start with that one? Harry.
So we offer a lot of paid jobs on campus, whether through uni temps, which is roles like this one where you're representing the university, where you're directly representing some of our services, or through the student union, where I started a job as a bartender this year and actually made supervisor in November. So, but yeah, there's plenty of opportunities like that available. And even if you choose to find work outside of campus, Nottingham is very much a student city, so there's lots of hospitality jobs available, retail, etc. So yeah.
I don't really have much to add to that, to be honest. There are lots of job opportunities available, like you said, like this one. The student mentor is another job that you can get involved with. We've got library student mentors as well that you can get involved with. And as well as that, there's a lot of volunteering opportunities for you to get involved with as well.
Thank you, Alicia. Molly, you may not have anything to add to that.
Not really, David.
Okay.
So cost of living not on everybody's mind. How is the nightlife in Nottingham, please?
Who's starting with nightlife then? It's Molly.
There's definitely something for everyone in Nottingham. So there is, if you're into going out and everything, there's lots of bars, nightclubs, that's all across the city and all with different vibes. So there's definitely something for everyone there. Equally, if you're not into that, we do offer like sober socials and different things like that. So there are some film nights and there are some more, I guess, quieter places, or there's literally something for everyone. It's a student city. Every student has their own ideal nightlife. So you can definitely find something for you in the city. But yeah, there's lots available, both directly linked to the uni and in Nottingham as a whole.
Yeah, I agree. I myself am partial to a bodega Indie Wednesday. But I would say that student discount would, I mean, you mentioned cost of living. Student discount is definitely an important consideration. And a lot of the bars and clubs here, they will do student discounts and student-focused nights. So it's important to look out this.
Yeah, the nightlife's great. I've seen out my window some people dressed as cones going across to bars and things like that. So lots of dress-up nights and lots of people going out. So yeah, the nightlife is great, but also equally safe.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you all.
Thanks. What sports facilities are available to students?
Right, who's sporty? Molly.
I've been involved with lots of sport while I've been at uni. For me, that is something that complements my studies nicely, and I've done that in order to get that work-life balance as well. It's a good way to socialise as well and be able to represent the university. At the city campus, we've got a gym facility here, and we have lots of the sports go from here as well. We have a climbing wall. Over at Clifton is where like a main sport is, and there's more like the hockey pitches, football pitches, rugby pitches. You've got more gym facilities there as well. There's something at both sites, and we also offer a play for fun session as well. So Alicia mentioned that earlier on. So if there's sports you want to be involved with, but you don't want to sort of sign up specifically to either one sport and compete or just do it more ad hoc, then you can do that. And they have like badminton, tennis, football, a whole range of different things. You can find out more about that on our website, or we have the sports team here today to speak to. But yeah, for me, sport has definitely been something which complements my studies, and there's definitely a lot more to get involved with, and some sports I'd never even heard of before or don't have access to back home as well.
As someone who was regularly picked last in PE at school, I was somewhat of a newcomer to fitness. But I actually joined the NTU gym in second year, like Molly mentioned. So they offer really cheap memberships, and they're open sort of all hours of the day. And they can actually offer personal training services as well. That's on offer. You have to pay extra for that. That is on offer should you want it.
I play badminton. And I play it for fun, but there's also chances to play it competitively as well. So even if you're not much of a sport person, play it for fun. If you want to get involved competitively, go ahead.
Ray. God, you three do everything, don't you?
Thank you. So we've talked through the accommodation options for first year. Can you tell us about your experience for after that, second and third?
Right. So let's go to yes. Well, you've got the most experience of everyone, of course.
So yeah, first year tends to be in the student accommodation, which is all nearby and local, whether that's the NTU halls or private halls. And private halls basically just means it's not owned by NTU. They're all exactly the same and within walking distance, which is really convenient as a student. When you go up into second and third year, typically people then move into a house, whether that's with people from their course, from clubs and societies, or from their first year accommodation. And again, that's all local to here. People generally are within walking distance or can get a bus there as well. But yeah, there's definitely options, and we have an accommodation hub available so that people can get help and support for finding the accommodation. And within, I think it's September and October time at the start of each academic year, we have a housing fair. So all of the different student housing providers, both the halls and houses, I guess, they all come to one place. So you can just literally go around, speak to them and talk about the prices that you're willing to pay, about your budgets, what you're looking for, and they can help you find that. So there's support to help you get to where you want to be and find something which is right for you, as it is equally important to find somewhere where you're comfortable to live and go back to, as well as obviously what you're studying when you're at the uni.
Anyone else want to add?
Yeah, I would also mention the importance of the housing fair. Obviously, we talked about the student union, that SU has its own executive team, and affordable housing is one of their principal kind of aims and focuses.
That was covered greatly by you guys. So.
I think it's just worth saying that I mentioned earlier the two universities in Nottingham. So between the two universities, there's a student living strategy for Nottingham in partnership with the City Council. So, really trying to take a joined up approach to make sure that students get good quality, safe housing and that it's managed across the city.
Thank you. So last question for each of you. And Alicia, should we start with you? Because I'm conscious you keep going last. What was it that attracted you to NTU, and what are your reflections on this now?
My biggest thing that attracted me to NTU was the industry. There are so many opportunities to talk to the professionals that are actually in the industry, and the fact that you get 100% guarantee work experience within each one of your courses that you choose is an absolute amazing factor. I'm definitely more of a practical based person. Yes, I go to my lectures and my seminars and I study, but I also really like to go and talk to these individuals, like employers, and try and get those work experience opportunities, because that's what it is at the end of the day.
I was personally drawn to the teaching style. Work-like experience is at the forefront of every lecture and seminar. And I was also drawn to the idea that NTU is a welcoming community, NTU is an inclusive community, and NTU is a place where you can feel like you belong.
For me, I chose to study here primarily because of my course. I think all of the facilities and things they have available here was very good compared to all the other universities I'd visited. And I knew that when I came along to an open day like this sort of felt like home. It felt like I could see myself studying here, and obviously have studied here for the past 4 years. And I'm definitely pleased with my choice and wouldn't have had it any other way. I would also just say though, even though you're coming to university to study your course, don't get too concerned that just because you're choosing what to study now, so just because I've finished studying product design doesn't necessarily mean that I'm then going to go on to study product design. Whilst you're at university, you get equipped with all the skills, both personally and professionally, to be able to then go out into the real world and then adapt to whichever job or whatever profession you want to. So even though right now you might be thinking, oh, I'm not quite sure if this is the right course for me or if I'll change my mind, I'm sure if you ask many of your parents or people who are out working now, many of the jobs that they're actually doing, they may not have even done at university. So don't get too concerned about that. And then also when you get here, just take on every opportunity. There's so much available to you while you're at university. And as a student, everything is literally at our fingertips. It's just down to us to then pick and choose what we want to do to make the most out of our university experience here.
Thank you very much, Molly. And Alicia, there's one just little bit of advice I know you like making sure that all potential undergraduate students are aware of. So just kind of sock it to them.
Use your student discount, please. And there are so many times that I have gone out and I have noticed that I've paid way too much for things that I can get a student discount. There are 2 universities in this city, so it's a very student-based city, so please use your student discount.
Use it or lose it. Right. Thank you very much to Alicia, Molly and Kerry. And thank you very much indeed, everyone, for your attention and your questions this morning. We won't have covered them all. There are lots of colleagues in pink around the place who will try and help you and send you in the right direction if they don't immediately have the answer. So please go and accost the persons in pink. Make sure you've registered. Make sure you've got those pink tote bags. And I hope you have a really, really helpful and productive day today. Thank you, everyone.